Assistant Director. Thank you guys for being here. I want to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to check in. We had the QR code up there. If you don't check in, then we're not going to be able to count you present, so it's important that you do so. If you did it, not a big deal. We'll plop it up again during the break. We're going to start with STC. Yes. We'll put it back up during the break for anybody who's arriving late because we're a little bit behind schedule already. We're going to start with STC. This is Laura. She's going to be your presenter this morning. I'm going to hand the mic over to her. We'll have a break around 10 o'clock, and then again, I'll plop up the screen. Does anybody have any questions? No? All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. There you go.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody had a great weekend, and I'm sorry, this is how we're going to start the day. I hope everybody has coffee and goodies, so let's get started, okay? My name is Laura Garcia. I am a faculty member for STC for the bachelor's program for the operations management. It's just a fancy name for business administration. And so with that, let's get started. Today's training is going to be on excellent customer training, and it's specifically geared for you guys, for your city. So what are we going to talk about today, right? We're going to talk about your mission, the vision. What is the expectation of all of us? Okay, and I'm including myself too, right? You all need to know about the fact that there are reports that exist that can help you better understand the importance of the customer service component here for the city of Pharr. And then we're going to talk about positive and negative, experiences that we have with customers. I mean, we all do that, but specifically, we're going to focus on the difficult one because I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the positive because that's pretty self-explanatory, right? And that's what we always hope for. And then obviously at the end, I'll answer any questions you may have. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so it's very, very important that you understand your vision and your mission. All of you, it doesn't matter what department you belong to, you need to know how valuable you are. And if nobody has told you, let me be the one to tell you, you are extremely valuable, okay? I used to be a former director of HR, and I knew that my employees were always my, important and very valuable. Why? Because you make the city stand out, and you do the greatest job possible because you were the best selected for the position, right? So with that, the city of Pharr has the mission to provide the highest level of municipal service every day, okay? And that means that when I have a bad day, that means when I have a great day, that means when I have a so-so day, we are here to provide the best municipal services to everyone every day. The vision of the city, right? Obviously, it's to consistently lead the region in municipal excellence, sustainability, and innovation. So that means that we are responsive to change and that we're going to go ahead and provide, again, the best that your very best is going to be every day. Doesn't matter what. And take value and pride of what you do. This is not, yes, like it's a job and it pays bills, but take more ownership of it. You are the best person for this job. So guess what? Show that. And how do you show that? By doing your very best at all times. So this is the actual everyday model of the city of Pharr. It is the highest level of municipal services every day. So this is something that you should stick it on a post-it in the computer. You should, read it every day, or sometimes when you get upset, be reminded about this because this is what we're supposed to do, right? This is your job, and this is, believe me, a lot of people depend on you, whether you want to believe it or not, okay? So with that, let's move on. All right. So there's a lot of leadership styles that you've heard, everywhere. What I like to emphasize with the city of Pharr, and usually in our classes, is that this is called servant leadership, okay? So guess what? All of us are here to serve others, right? And so specifically, if you go to a textbook, it's defined as, being empathetic, mainly that you have empathy for others, right? And that you're capable of leading, right? And all of you here in this room, regardless of your title, you're leaders. Why? Because you have capability to assist others right? And you're going to make, decisions and responses to your customer, client, constituent, whoever it is, to be to be a problem solver, right? So you are all leaders. It doesn't matter what your title is. So if you didn't know that, that's another thing that I'll tell you that. Okay. So yeah, servant leadership is just that. You're going to show empathy. You're a problem solver. You're going to listen to what's at hand and tackle it. What's the challenge? And let's find a solution. Okay. The other thing that I always start off my classes, and I didn't start with y'all with that, but I didn't want to freak you out. But so if nobody told you this, I'll be the first one to tell you that you're not going to like everyone and not everyone's going to like you. Okay? If you didn't know that, that's just, I'm not here to tell you about rainbows and butterflies and utopia. I'm telling you the reality of things. This is it. But guess what? Despite that, we're here to do the best job possible with each other and with our constituents, okay? Even though you already know like there's a client or a customer that you're like, they're calling again. Doesn't matter. You're going to have to do the best job possible, okay? So what does this servant leadership tie into place with what you do and what we say every day? Ultimately is that it all ties with the mission, the vision, and the values that we have, right? And so we need to understand that all of this ties into what you actually do every day. What service do you provide? You know, what are the values? All of this is aligned. And so this is where you become the big part of, this um, positive, interactions with our clients or constituents. All right, guys. So what's the expectation? Like when you have any interaction with someone, right? So how many of you, just raise your hand, how many of you have you called somewhere and they're like, good morning, or how can I help you? And you're like, am I really going to get assistance today? How many of you have gotten a call that you're like, what in the world? Did they wake up on the wrong side of the bed? How is it my fault? And I am not the scapegoat, and I am not the one that's going to be thrown under the bus today, right? We've all had that. Guess what? If you're in that capacity, and all of you are, because you talk to your peers, you talk to your constituents, you talk to someone, you don't want to be on that list. You don't. Or have you heard of that person that says, oh, calls only so and so because they're the only one that answers their phone and they're the only ones that are nice and they're actually going to help you? So just call so and so. Just call so and so only, okay? Because the other ones, they don't help. They don't answer the phone. Yeah, they won't help you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, don't be on that list. You want to be the one that they call. Why? Because you want to take pride in what you do, right? So here we have, you have been all provided a script, and HR reviewed it, for the record. So this is something that's going to help you, remind you, okay? Because you all know this, but sometimes stuff is going on in our head that, we have issues, we have other things going on that we're trying to solve, and this is going to help you just stick it to, make sure that you remind yourself of why we're here and how we're supposed to do this, right? We all need cheat sheets and we all need that. So when you have an in-person customer, make sure that you have some sort of eye contact, that you're not on your phone. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah. How can I help you? No, you need to be like, good morning. This is Laura. How can I help you today? And you don't have to do the little song that I did right now, but you know what I mean, right? But you're going to be positive. You're going to look them in the eye and you're going to ask them genuinely, how can I help you? And you're going to identify what they need. If they need I need help with my water bill. I have some questions and I don't know who to call. One moment. Let me go ahead and transfer you, right? Let me see who can help you. One moment, please. Right? What's the other thing that you hate? That you be placed on hold, or that the call gets transferred and then it drops or something happens or you have no idea who you're talking to. That's the other thing, right? So don't worry, we have stuff for that. But immediately when you have somebody on site, And it could be like, it could be outside in the field, like you're outside with, at a park. I know we have some officers, sometimes you don't encounter the most pleasant situations, we'll just leave it at that. So you just got to keep it, professional and firm. How can I help you? This is so and so, this is Laura, how can I help you? Right? So remember that. The same thing goes when you're answering phone calls, right? Have you ever heard of like, oh, you can tell the person's upset because, of their tone. So be mindful of your tone. Yes, you have a script that's going to help you, but be mindful of your tone. If you're upset about something, you're just going to have to set it aside and be professional. Because if I'm mad, I'm going to be like, how can I help you? I'm going to be short. I'm going to be like negative, right? We don't want that. I may be negative. I may be having some bad days, but when I answer that phone call, I'm going to say, good morning. This is Laura. How can I help you? Yes, one moment. Let me go ahead and transfer you, or let me go ahead and get that person for you. Right? So be mindful of that. Okay. So specifically, when you're answering a phone call, you're going to say good morning or good afternoon. You're going to say, thank you for calling the city of Pharr, the blank department, right? The human resources department. This is Laura. How can I help you? Or how can I assist you today? Right? Whatever's easier for you. So make sure you keep it consistent, keep it positive. Okay. And all of you know this, but sometimes we need a little reminder because we have so many things to do, so many deadlines, and sometimes it seems like the phone never stops ringing and you have like 50 deadlines to do. It happens, but it's nobody's fault. And so with that, don't take it out on anyone and remain professional and help out as much as possible. Okay, so when you transfer a call, we talked a little bit about this. um how many times has the call dropped and then they end up calling again? Well, it's because the call dropped and I don't know who to call and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, I have to deal with them again. No. Guess what you do before you transfer the call? Go ahead and tell them, I'm going to transfer you to the human resources department. And here's the phone number just in case the call drops. So guess what? If the call drops or they don't answer because, they're having other 50 phone calls as well, guess what? They'll be able to return the call directly without calling you. Okay? So with that, in the script again, you say again, good morning, good afternoon. You're calling this department. This is Laura. How can I help you today? Oh, wait, let me go ahead and transfer. You have a question about your the bill regarding your electricity or whatever, the water bill. Let me go ahead and transfer you to that department. And oh, by the way, here's the phone number in case, the call drops. Okay. So, and then you could tell them, I'm going to place you on a brief hold and while the call transfers. Okay. And then if we get disconnected, let me make sure to give you all this information. And if you can give them the name of the person, the department, and let them know who it is that they're transferred to. Okay. And sometimes, you know what I do too? And I know that I even did this, I was a director and I was still doing this because I would answer phone calls too. And I would ask them, hey, can I have an email? Because sometimes I would even email, let's say I'm transferring to Ashley in HR, I would send Ashley an email and then I would send the person, I would comment, CC the person that I'm calling, that I'm talking to on the call, so that they know that I did deliver the message. And like that, they weren't like, oh, Laura's a jerk. She didn't tell Ashley I called, man. She's a jerk. No, I did all that so that there was, again, because I knew that the next time I probably was not going to answer the phone call, not because I was a jerk, but because I was in a meeting. I was, taking care of some other things. So I might as well like make sure that it gets done right at that moment. Okay. Keep that in mind. When you take messages, it's also important to capture that key information, right? Make sure okay, all of us have, make sure that you write the name of the person that you're talking to, a good phone number, a good email where you could be reached, they could be reached rather. And again, make sure that it's clear and accurate. Let's say you're doing something, you're on the phone, you're not going to be like on the phone. Yeah, what's your name? They might not even hear you because the phone is right here and you're over there doing something else. Or if the person's right in front of you, you're typing up something else. What, you got to make sure that you give the attention that is necessary to that person. The last thing you'd want is that you don't know how that customer is. Like, they may be upset, they may be happy, you don't know. But the moment that something like that happens, you may trigger them to be upset at you for no reason, because you need to be a scapegoat, right? I'm having a problem and that's why I'm asking, I'm calling, right? So you don't want to be that scapegoat. So make sure you give everybody your time, give them your attention, and listen to what they're saying. So make sure that when you take a message, you're like, you know what? I'm sorry, Ashley's not here in the office right now. May I take your message? And and then just be mindful. Can I? Sometimes there's unique names. Sometimes I'm not the best speller in the world, and nobody judge. We don't judge anybody. So guess what? You just ask them, can you spell out your name? Can you go ahead and give me the phone number and your email address? And make sure that once they give it to you, you repeat it back to them to confirm it. The last thing you would want is for you to write down a phone number and it's incorrect because you were like, I'm not going to verify that information. Okay. And then at the end, you're going to say, thank you. I will make sure Ashley receives your message as soon as possible. And I use Teams or like some sort of messaging. I don't know what messaging system you use. I use a message in Teams or an email to let them know, hey, so and so called you, just to make sure, right? Because the last thing that I want to is that, well, I called Laura and she didn't tell anybody or really deliver my message. So again, it's a two-way street. So make sure that at the end of your call, right, or like the in-person interaction, you say that, thank you for calling or thank you for visiting the city of Pharr. Have a wonderful day. Very simple. But it makes sometimes that person that's coming to you, that's the only positive thing they're going to hear all day. So be nice. You don't know the other person's circumstances. I know we all go through different things, but we got to put in the pause button and give the best customer service to everyone. All right. Any questions about the expectations, right, of taking messages, transferring calls, in-person interactions, all that good stuff? No questions? All right. I saw somebody stretching and I was like, no, that's not a question. All right. Now we got to talk about reports. So you're like, okay, you're teaching me how to already know the stuff about customer service, blah, blah, blah. All right. Did you all know that there's reports to check up on that? All right. Well, I'm here to tell you there are. So guess what? There's this 311. And guess what? These are concerns, either positive, comments or negative comments about customer service, about anything for that matter. And guess what? These reports go directly to the department. I, for sure, do not want to be on the list where it says Lara was a jerk and she ignored me when I called her when I was trying to ask questions about the water bill. I don't want to be on that list because they get directly sent to the supervisor. I don't want to have that conversation. And if you didn't know that happens, it happens. So don't go there. Okay. There's also like in your email, the how did we do survey. And if you didn't know, like in the emails, there's now this promotion again. Again, it's going to give you positive and negative. Anybody could submit anything, positive or negative. So guess what? These are submitted to the Office of Strategic Excellence and ultimately leads to your supervisor. Again, whether it's good or bad. I want to make sure that I do a good job, so I want to be in the good one because I already have enough stuff going around that I don't need any more negative, right? For that matter, there's a lot of negative everywhere. So stay positive. Make sure you get those positive comments and feedback, right? There's also the annual survey, right, that's sent out. So be mindful of that comments could come up regarding you or your department. So again, it's a live document that's like, yes, it's an annual survey, but people usually tend to remember that one negative event, even though there's like 10 positive, the one negative will always stick out. So make sure that, you keep that under wraps. You understand the impact of a interaction, right? And then there's also telephone reports. So guess what? There's a lot of complaints that calls are not answered, that they transfer the call and it's to the wrong department, or they transfer the call and nobody answers. Guess what? There's reports that show how long you took, how many calls you didn't answer, how many calls you answered, how long you took on that phone call. There's reports for that. And guess what? Your supervisor can get them. Yeah, good times. When I was HR director, we went through a lot of these things because there was complaints, and usually it only takes one employee to get a complaint, and then everybody in the department gets checked. And then there's weekly meetings. Let's see your progress. Let's see how you're doing. Oh, I saw you didn't answer 10 phone calls today. On Monday. What happened? Talk to me. How can I help you? So be very, very mindful of these things. The other thing that when we would meet with employees regarding that is, guess what? Not only did we check how many you didn't answer, how many calls were not answered, but we also checked how many calls were missed and you returned the call later. Because you could have been in a meeting, you could have been like pulled away to do something, and you couldn't answer the phone for whatever reason. But it was checked there if you did return the phone call or not. And again, how long, how many times did you call, and so forth. Okay. So again, these reports exist and supervisors can get them upon request, especially if there's concerns, like if there's a negative, feedback. I'm sorry, they're not going to ask for that one employee. They're going to ask for the whole department. And everybody's going to be on watch. So, not to scare you or anything, but we have to do the right thing, and there's things to document. When things are not working out or phone calls are not being answered. Okay. All right. So let's talk about how important this customer interaction is, right? So I there's a lot of stats out there that talk about customer service and the impact, right? I'm only here to give you a little bit of highlight of some important things. So 80% of customers say that experience a company that is important to them. Like, in other words, 80% of people think customer service is like so important. Okay. And then 81% of leaders see customer service as a growing priority over the next year. So this is something that everybody's talking about, customer service, and the impact of that. How many times have you had a negative customer service experience and there's so many options, right? That you decide to go with somebody else. Or like, I'm not going to talk to Laura because she's a jerk, so I'm going to talk to Ashley. I don't want to talk to Laura. She's mean. When I answer the phone call, when I show up, she rolls her eyes. She's never listening to me. She's always on the computer. So again, leaders are also taking note of, hey, Laura's not answering the phone calls. Laura's not being, paying attention. I'm going to go ahead and let her know what's the expectation here at the city of Pharr. So keep that in mind. 48% of consumers overall will share customer service experience, whether it's good or bad. So that's almost half. I don't know if you noticed that. So again, these reports that are coming in, they can be very positive or very negative. Let's stay on the positive end. Okay? Just do your job and do it well, because again, you were the best person for the job. We just didn't randomly, oh, you look great. Come on. You can do the job. No, you applied for the job, you went through a process, and you were the most qualified. So just prove it. And then last and not least, 75% of consumers will do business with them again, like I mentioned, after making a mistake. So like if I say, you know what, I'm sorry, like the water bill did have a mistake. We're working on it to go ahead and fix it. And we'll take a note of it, and I'll make sure that it doesn't happen again. Guess what? The person's going to be like, oh, okay, great. You're going to fix it, and you're telling me that it won't happen again. And if it does happen again, I think that you will recognize the fact that there was an error and fix it. We're all human. Like the last thing you would want to do is like, oh, I didn't do that, or there's no mistake. It's all in your head. Nope. No, you got to let them know, you know what, there is an error and I apologize for that. I'm sorry for that, for the inconvenience. And you know what, let's fix it. That's it. It doesn't require you to like sugarcoat it or transfer the call and transfer the call and transfer the call because I don't want to tell them that we did an error. Just do it. Just tell them. That's it. Especially now that almost 50% of people are like, they want to say what happened, in their experience. So make sure that you give them again a good reason to make a comment, right, about you and or the department. All right. So let's see if I can get this with the clicker. If not, I'm going to ask for some help. So we're going to watch a short clip. I promise that it's not hours. It's usually like they're really short clips. So we're going to watch this real quick if I can get it to work. And the computer?
Empower your students at every stage of the writing process with Grammarly's generative process with Grammarly's generative Use it to help students brainstorm ideas faster.
It's a 2-minute video, guys, I promised.
Hi, I've been trying to get in touch with your office to return these, but nobody seems to be answering
Get real-time feedback.
Yes, I have emails.
Okay, well that's all you can do. You have to
And
email
much
it
more.
through and someone will get back to you.
Anybody
when
from
they
IT?
can.
And
Hear
what
it from
would
our
be the
user from the
timeframe?
University
Well,
of Texas.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
I've been trying to get in touch with your office to return these, but nobody seems to be
Have
answering
you
the
tried
phone.
emailing us?
Yes, I have emailed.
Can you
Okay,
increase
well
the
that's all
volume?
you can do. You have to email it through and someone will get back to you when they can.
And
But
what would be the time frame?
well,
they're meant
it's
get
up
back
to them.
you?
That's not in my department. I can't help you. You need to do it online.
Sorry, the volume. Thank you.
Hi, I've been trying to get in touch with your office to return these, but nobody seems to be
Have
answering
you tried
the phone.
emailing us?
Yes, I have emailed.
Okay, well that's all you can do. You have to email it through and someone will get back to you when they can.
And
But
what would be the time frame?
well,
they're meant
it's
get
up
back
to them.
you?
That's not in my department. I can't help you. You need to do it online.
So is there someone that you might be able to ask
No,
that would
sorry.
be able to assist?
Can't help you. It's all done online within our online team. I don't know what more you want me to do.
Is there, maybe you could ask somebody if they could help with
Well,
this?
no, because I'm the only one here and I haven't had lunch and I can't leave. So you're just going to have to go back online, wait for someone to call you and go from there. This isn't my area. If you want to buy something, I can help you.
Okay, this is terrible customer service. Is there not a manager or someone that I could talk
We
to?
do have an online chat room that you can lodge a dispute with, but I don't have anyone here that you can speak with.
Okay, well, I'll need to follow this up with someone then. Thank you for not being helpful.
Okay, great. Thank
That's
you
like
so
the
much.
worst nightmare.
That's not a problem. Have a lovely day. Bye. Hello, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm just wondering if I could return this, please. I've bought one for my husband on the weekend and he's already received it. So is there a possible that I could get a refund for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Had you lodged something online yet?
I did, but nobody seems to have gotten back to me yet. So I thought I'd just pop into the office.
Okay, sorry about that. Usually our turnaround is 24 hours, but I can definitely help you with that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just look up some of your details here. What was your name?
Cherie Montgomery.
Perfect. I can see you purchased that on the weekend with a credit card. And would you like that refund back onto the credit card?
That would be wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I can take care of that from here and you'll receive that within 10 business days. Is there anything else I can help you
No,
with?
that's been wonderful. Thank you.
Perfect.
Ta.
Have a great
You
day.
too. Bye.
Eight customer service skills every employee should know. How you
Right? And then there. Okay. Okay, great. All right. So how many times have we experienced the first one, the negative one, that like I can't help you. It's not me. Sorry. Yeah, they're not here. You want to take a message? Yeah, sure. I can't take a message. Just go online. It's so sad, right? Oh, there. Like, to be honest, yes, like I've seen it in all ages, all ethnicities, everybody like has had negative experiences. Yes. And that's how come, like, in our classrooms, we do try to teach about, empathy, about being responsive, and also to communicate. We make sure that they do presentations and so forth, because we don't want them to go out in the field and then fail miserably, right? And then also, like, in the Spanish class, because I also teach this one in Spanish, the usted component, right? Like understanding the culture. If you have somebody and then you just like, tú qué quieres y tú qué quieres, pues they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like they're so disrespectful, right? So having that mentality also, like when you talk to someone, because you do encounter people in Spanish, mainly here, right? So you have to, ¿en qué le puedo ayudar? ¿Cómo le puedo asistir? ¿Qué fue lo que pasó? Very professional. Like you can't be like, ¿y qué te pasó? ¿Y lo que hiciste? Like igualado. They're like, the lady, or like, they're going to start, saying things. So again, be mindful. And guess what? If you can't help, at least do the minimum that you can do to assist a situation. Let me transfer you with so and so, or let me see if I can. Or like, this is the other thing that I've done. I don't know all the answers. If you know all the answers, I'm gonna applaud and say, wow, congratulations, you're amazing. I don't know all the answers. I don't, and I don't pretend I do. But guess what? I tell the person right off the bat, I don't know who can help you, but give me a good phone number and your name, and I'll call you right back. Let me find out who I need to refer you to. And before I transfer you and transfer you and transfer you, let me call you right back. They're like, oh, okay, thanks. And I do that. I start calling. I'm like, who do I need to transfer them to help get them help on this? And then I call them back, and then, I give them the information. Or if they're live, the same thing. You know what? I'm not going to be able to help you, but before you leave, let me see if I can connect you with someone. That's it. That's all it takes. Because all of us are going through bad things. All of us are going through situations. And the last thing we'd want is for, to have, a bad experience after that. Right. And let's go. I do have one more video. I think it's another short one, but bottom line, I'm not here to talk about, hey, this is the positive, and this is, excellent. Let's talk about those negative situations. Uh, make sure to keep yourself emotionally, prepared. And what do you mean? What do I mean by that? Okay, I knew that, in my job, there was going to be a lot of people like yelling at me, upset, and so forth. So I knew before each meeting to set myself mentally for it. You know what? I'm going to be meeting with this person. More likely than not, they're going to be upset. They're going to be yelling. They're going to tell me off. They're going to be in my face telling me not so pretty things, right? So what do I need to do, right? I need to make sure that I let them vent. I also am not going to be let them walk all over me, right? But I'm going to let them vent and then say, look, I understand this happened and I'm here to help you right now. So I know this is a problem and this is how we're going to help you. Okay? Usually when you do that, it de-escalates the situation. How many times have like somebody yelled in your face and you yell back in their face? Why not? They're yelling at me, so I could yell back, right? That doesn't make the situation better. Like, two wrongs don't make it right. So make sure that you tell yourself this is going to happen. I know police officers, like, you get a lot of other training that, how to deal with all sorts of people. But again, like, we deal with people that, are upset, angry all the time. You just need to de-escalate it and just listen to them. And you'd be surprised how, like, if you lower your tone, they're gonna be like, I need to lower my tone. I need to lower my voice. So again, be mindful. And it's easier said than done. I could tell you all about it, but in the moment you get caught up. It's okay to take the pause button. Pause button. Say, you can either drink water to, calm yourself down. If you know you're going to have a difficult situation, have some chocolates around. It makes people happy. It does. Like whenever I had meetings with, that was going to be bad news, or I was interviewing somebody about something not so great, there was a bowl of chocolate right in front of me. And I'm not saying like, the cops are going to be like, here's some chocolate, right? But, it's the right time and the right place. Okay. It's not for everyone. If you're in an office setting, you're going to go ahead and have candy. The officers, I'm sorry, it's going to melt in the car. It's not going to be nice. They're going to be upset. Okay? So don't go there. But be mindful. Let's go ahead and look at this video real quick. And it's another 2 minutes and 48 seconds. I promise to be brief.
Dealing with an upset customer may be the most difficult aspect of customer service.
Hi, this is Jason. How can I help you this afternoon?
You tell me. I'm looking at my new statement, and I see that you people have charged me again for the same fees I've been calling about for months now. I'm sick and tired of being told that it's handled when pretty clearly it's not.
That's not easy to even listen to. So, how do you respond to it in a way that will help? First, remember that the customer isn't upset with you, they're upset with the situation. Don't take it personally. Then remind yourself that angry customers often struggle to be objective. So before trying to resolve the problem, it's important to diffuse the customer's frustration. So how do you do that? Start by allowing the customer to vent. It isn't easy and it's rarely pretty, but try not to interrupt or contradict the customer, even if you believe they're wrong. Confrontation will lead to escalation, and the goal is to calm the customer down so you can look for a solution.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me take a look at your account and find out what's going on. Can you remind me when this started?
Fine. The first fee showed up 3 months ago. If you can't fix this, I'm going to close the account.
I completely understand your frustration. Let me see what I can do to help get this taken care of for you right now.
Listening and responding with empathy helps diffuse the customer's frustration. This is one of the quickest ways to de-escalate tension. Listening with an open mind and expressing your understanding lets your customer know that you acknowledge their problem. Respond with your positive intent to take action to resolve the problem as best you can. Keep your focus on the customer and follow through on your desire to help them.
I'm glad I was able to get that issue taken care of. It may take up to 24 hours for your account to show the changes, but you shouldn't see any more of these fees in the future. Thanks for working with me to figure it out. I want to apologize again for the inconvenience.
Thanks, Jason. I appreciate your help.
By removing the focus from yourself and staying focused on understanding and resolving the customer's problem, it's easier to stay detached and not get wrapped up in an emotional outburst. Maintaining an attitude of caring and concern helps to diffuse customer frustration. Allow them to vent as needed. Listen and respond with empathy. You'll never be able to work in customer service without running into angry, frustrated customers once in a while. But there are ways you can ease the tension and allow you both to work toward an acceptable solution.
All right. So again, don't take it personally. They're going to be upset. You already know how they're going to react. You've dealt with that. This isn't your first rodeo. You've already experienced, a negative customer or client or constituent, at some point. But what you do with it is going to be vital, right? Not only to you, but to the department. And so, yeah, don't take it personal. Make sure you allow to listen. And then think about a situation where you have been in a similar circumstance and how they treated you and how you would like to be treated. And it all goes back to like that servant mentality that you show empathy, you listen, and you find a solution, not a problem. Don't want to find a problem. All right. So, and then worst case scenario, right? You're going to assist as much as possible. I highly recommend, and I would tell this to everyone when I was in HR, document it. Send an email to yourself that, I talked to so-and-so, they yelled in my face, and this is what the problem was, and this is what I did. Why? Because if it ever comes back, you have documentation as to what happened, right? And then communicate with your supervisor. Sometimes it's going to be beyond you, or it's going to require an administrative exception or something that's something beyond your control. And that's perfectly fine. Inform the supervisor. Don't be a jerk just because they're yelling at you and be like, the supervisor's not in. I guess I'll take a message and we'll call you right back, when the supervisor's like right there ready to tackle it. So don't do that. Make sure you get it out of the way and get it resolved. So now, I know that we're limited on time, but we're going to go over a few of the some issues that we can, difficult circumstances, right? That situations that we can encounter. And then I do have like a possible solution or a possible response. Okay. So we're going to talk about the first 5, and then we'll look at the next slide, with the responses. Okay. So what happens when there's a billing dispute? I think that's more like the most common thing I think that happens, right? So the resident is upset, like in the phone call, and they say like, this is an error, and I need it now to be fixed now. And they yell, and you're like, like the phone, right? Or it could be live, right? They could be in your face. What are you gonna do when this happens? Okay, so right now we're gonna look at the response. Permit denial. Let's say they were supposed to do, an addition to the house or renovation, whatever, and it got denied, right? So what are you going to do when that person goes and, and says, hey, you're stopping me from doing this, this is the well-being of my family. This is going to be, what I need for my business. This is what I need for whatever. What are you going to do? Noise complaint. A resident repeatedly complains about the noise from a nearby construction site despite the municipality following all regulations, right? It's too much noise, there's too much noise, there's too much noise. I'm tired of it, too much noise. What are you going to do about it, right? Service delay. That, let's say a resident or is, complains about the fact that the garbage collection, it's not done timely. What are you going to do about it? And it's garbage and it stinks. They're going to be upset. Okay. So, and then last but not least, parking ticket. So a driver disputes a parking ticket, and claims that the signage was unclear and demands to be, the fine to be waived. Okay. So again, these are some examples, and let's look at some potential solutions, right? So when it's a billing, just like the video says, I understand your concern, your frustration. Let me go ahead and review your account, right? And guess what? Once you review the account, the actual fee is correct. Let's say like it is correct. They will have a better response to you because you took the time to review it and you told them. Rather than like, nah, you're wrong. It's right. No, yeah, no, nope. And they're talking, you're like, nope, it's right. Nope, it's right. If you tell them, I understand you're frustrated, I understand you're concerned, let me look into it. Even though you already know the answer, just the fact that you told them that, it's gonna like de-escalate the thing because they're like, oh wow, they're actually looking at it. You already know the answer because you're an expert in your job, but they're not and they don't understand. So it's gonna take you to tell them, you know what, I reviewed your account, it is correct, and this is why, right? And then if it's incorrect, own it. Say, you know what, it was an error. I apologize for the inconvenience. We're gonna fix it as soon as possible. And the next blank days, you will see that has been credited. It has been, remedied, resolved, whatever the case may be. Okay. The the permit denial. Again, tell them, I understand this is frustrating. I know this is difficult, but we are following the regulations, and this is why. Explain to them. However, whenever have you ever heard this from a supervisor that whenever you bring a problem, you bring a solution? Have you ever heard of that? So you might not be able, you're a problem solver, you do this every day, and if nobody has told you, you do it every day. You might not think about it like that, but you do. So if there's a solution that is not possible, go ahead and let them know what other options they may have that they can use that are applicable, that they can do. So you're like, you know what, this permit will not go through this way. However, if you do this, or if you ask these things, it might have a different outcome because you can't guarantee anything, but give them options. Noise complaint. I mean, it's going to happen, right? It's construction and you guys are following all the regulations because you have to, right? It's part of it's part of everything. So with that, make sure that you tell them, you know what, I understand the noise level. I'll go ahead and talk to the supervisor, the manager, the person in charge, so that they're mindful about the noise level and at what times the noise is happening, right? You don't want it at night or whatever. And then for the service delay response for the garbage collection, just tell them that you're going through some, some challenges and you're working, as quickly as possible to remedy it, and that, they will be scheduled to pick up the trash on blank date, and be honest about it. Don't be a jerk and say they're going to pick it up this afternoon when you know better they're going to pick it up until tomorrow. Just don't go there. Sometimes I even tell people, like, I know I can get the job done in 1 day, but I'm going to give them 2 days. Why? Because stuff happens, right? And I will always look like a hero because I did it in 1 day, right? And if life happens and I have to take 2 days, it's okay because I told them that, right? Just be realistic too. And don't put yourself in a corner where you're not going to meet the expectation. And then last but not least, the parking ticket response. I understand that the signage, was not very clear, or it can be frustrating. Let's review the details of the ticket and let's see, the signage, so that, I can determine what went wrong. And sometimes the signage is bad, or like it's not even there. You didn't even know that the signage is gone, because some people like to take signs, or like the card knocked it down. I've seen all that. So be mindful and listen and look, evaluate the situation instead of saying, nope, it is what it is. Sorry. Nope, can't help you. You're going to have to pay the fee. Sorry. No, just be mindful, and understand them from their perspective. Okay? All right. Sorry, Ashley, I tried. Just kidding. Do you all have any questions? Any questions? It's pretty self-explanatory, right? But one of the key takeaways is don't take it personal. You're going to deal with difficult circumstances all the time. I'm sorry. I'm not here to tell you that every day is going to be great and that all the customers and clients that you're going to experience are going to be wonderful. No, there's going to be a lot of upset people out there, and there's a lot of, there's a lot of bad things happening in this life. So there's going to be people upset, and you're going to be the scapegoat. Don't take it personal, and remember to keep the motto, right? That you're going to be at the highest level of municipal service every day. So it doesn't mean, just an hour, or I'm not going to count the lunch hour. No, it means all the time, every time, all the time. Okay? All right. So any questions? Sorry, guys. I know it was the morning. But thank you all so much. And I know Ashley has my information if y'all have any questions or concerns. I did provide you a flyer about the bachelor's program. So if it's for you, great. If it's for a friend, great. Just share it with other people to kind of inform everybody about the best kept secret, right? About the bachelor's program that South Texas College offers. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. And then we'll get Nueva Luz on standby for you. All right. If you want to remain seated, we'll have a break after this next session. They're going to go over frontier benefits, and then we'll have Nueva Luz here for you guys. It's another 30 minutes. Bear with me. At 9:45, we'll go ahead and start a break, okay? Here. I'll be short, I promise. Does everybody have a handout? All right. Good morning. I see a lot of familiar faces. How are y'all? Thank you. All right, thanks. All right, so I will be quick, but I just wanted to go over what's on this little handout with you today. So like Ashley said, I'm here with Frontier Direct Care.
So we talked a couple of times last year just about your health plan benefits. So if you are a full-time employee and you are on the health plan, then you do have access to Frontier. Okay, this is something that you automatically have. So I just wanted to remind you, we do have clinics all across the valley. You were assigned to a location based on where you live. Our Pharr clinic is at the old firehouse, so right there by City Hall. If you don't know who your provider is, this is something that we've tweaked a little bit to help you. It came through a welcome email, but you might have deleted that email. You might not have gotten that email. It might have went to spam, whatever. If you get on your phone and you go to frontierdirectcare.com, which is at the bottom of the page, right, the website. If you go to that website and you click book an appointment, when you click book an appointment, it's going to prompt you to put your first name, your last name, and your date of birth. If you do that and you say, hey, I'm sick, I need an appointment, and just start going through the prompts that it gives you, at the very top, I think it's in red or blue, I think it's in red now, it'll say, if you cannot find an appointment that works for you, please call or reach out to your provider. It'll give you your provider's name. So maybe like Jana Hinkle, right, or Miranda Macias, one of the ones in Pharr, or whoever you're with, right? It'll give you their name and their number. Okay, I really suggest you save that number in your phone. We'll talk a minute why, if you don't realize like you have that cell phone number. So if it's after hours, it's a weekend, it's a nighttime, you can still reach out to your provider. Okay, so that's how, if you don't know who your Frontier provider is, I suggest y'all do that. Just get on the website, try to make that appointment, right? You don't have to book the appointment, but just so you can see who your provider is and what their number is. Okay. So just a reminder, with Frontier, when you come to the clinic, your appointment will begin on time, okay? Your appointments are set for 30 minutes. Unless it's your first time, they'll block out an hour for you. You don't have to use the hour if you don't need it. But that time is yours, and we want to be respectful of your time. So when you come in, we're going to start with you on time. So what does that mean about you coming to the clinic? Should you come in 15 minutes late? No. I am the worst offender. If I know I'm going to have to wait around, I'm going to be late, right? I'll run an errand on the way, right? Like just trying to use your time. I don't want to be sitting in a waiting room for an hour and a half. That will not happen to you at Frontier. Your appointment will begin on time. Okay. I think we average like maybe 2 minutes you might be sitting there. So please be on time. If you're more than 10 to 15 minutes late, they are going to ask you to reschedule unless there's no appointment after you. If there's no appointment after you, then that's fine, right? They're going to see you. They're not trying to be difficult. It's just that they want that time with you and they don't want to start late for the next person. Okay. They don't want you to feel rushed at your visit, but they also don't want to rush you through it to get to the next person that's coming so that they're not late for them. So no wait times, around the clock access. Obviously, please be a good steward of that. I think I told y'all this story last time, but it's the only one I can ever think of, right? If you're my age and you're going through hot flash kind of things, please don't text your provider in the middle of the night, right? Because it's 2 a.m., she's sleeping or he's sleeping. There's not much they can do for you. But if you wake up with chest pain, something like that, obviously you probably need to go to the hospital, but you can still reach out to your provider. Hey, this is what's going on. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm having my husband or whatever take me to the hospital. What's going to happen when I get there, right? Like they could walk you through what's going to happen, those next steps, things that you need to ask. They might help you kind of triage that situation. And what did you eat last night? You know, is this heartburn or is this a heart issue? That kind of thing. So you do have access to them. So please be respectful with that, but utilize that as you need it, right? Don't go to the ER or an urgent care on the weekend for a sinus infection when you could have reached out to your provider and they could get you a med at the pharmacy, right? So be wise about that. No copays, no deductibles, right? So when you come into our clinic, there's no copay for that visit. If you have lab work or something like that, there would be a fee. They will tell you what that cash pay price is. Most of our labs run in the $3 to $4 range, or you can utilize your insurance and pay for it that way, okay? If you pay cash, we talked about this last time, if you pay cash, does that go to your deductible? No. If you pay cash, does that go to your deductible? No, right? Because you're using a cash pay rate, right? You're not using your insurance. If you show your insurance card, if you go through your insurance, you're going to get that statement in the mail. That's what goes towards your deductible, okay? Just to keep those two separate. Virtual appointments, right? So you can come in person, you could do a virtual visit. A lot of things can be handled via text or a phone call, Okay, so that can help save you time off work, those kind of things. Like I said, on the weekends, those things can save you a lot of time and a lot of money. No hidden cost. Anything that is a cash pay rate, they're going to let you know what that is up front. A lot of things in our clinic aren't going to be a cost at all. EKG, stitches, staples. I've utilized some of those with my family. Unfortunately, there's no cost for those things. Okay. And then better preventative care because you have access to your provider. So my husband has only gone in once because that's just how he rolls. But he has texted his provider a lot. He has some stuff going on in his family. We're getting to that age where we're starting to see the bad blood work and all those kind of things. So he's able to have that conversation with his provider on via text, right? Like, what should I be looking at 45, right? What test should I be doing? What should I be adding to my regimen of what I do for my health? Those are things that you have access to now just via text. You don't have to make an appointment and go in for those things, okay? So again, please use that. That's what it's for. The whole purpose of direct primary care is to have that relationship, right? To be able to visit with your provider like that and get to know them personally. I'm gonna skip to the bottom. This is something we talked about last time, the pharmacy benefits. So this is just to remind you that with your membership to Frontier, you do have access to over 1,000 generic meds for free, okay? If you're on a maintenance medication, I take a thyroid medication. That comes to my house in 90-day supplies, okay? So if you're on a maintenance med, you're gonna, the way that they're gonna send that in with your address and all that, that's just gonna be shipped to your house. Okay, what if we talked about a sinus infection a minute ago? If you have a sinus infection, do you want 90-day supplies of that med? Do you want to wait a week for it to come in the mail? No, you want to go to a local pharmacy, right? You have that access too. Okay, so if it's something, an acute med is what we call those, right? Something you're sick right now, you can go to the local pharmacy of your choice and you can get that medication for free as well. Okay, as long as it's on the generic formulary. Over 95% of what providers prescribe are on the formulary. So it's very likely that what you need is going to be available. If it's not, again, your insurance can come into play there, right? Use your insurance for those things. So this just gives you those options to help you save some money and be smart about what you're doing for your health. Okay, so now to the thing in the middle. This is new. Okay, this is Frontier Direct Pay. If you remember when I came last time, I had a little booklet. And the booklet had some prices in it, like if you went and had an MRI, an x-ray, and it had prices on there, right? Those cash pay prices. Now, if you come to Frontier and you get a referral for a specialist, MRI, x-ray, anything like that that you need outside of our clinic, okay? So if you have to leave our clinic to get one of these specialty services or imaging, things like that, the city will cover that cost for you if it is with a Frontier, it's not a provider, but like somebody that we have an agreement with. So part of our Frontier Direct Pay is we have people that do negotiations, right? So they get with different hospitals and different entities to secure cash pay rates, okay? When we can get those agreements, then you can get those agreements, right? So if they're gonna, let's say, one of them I know, we went from, I can't remember what the initial cost was. We had somebody in our group that needed brain surgery. She has brain cancer. The surgery was like $270,000, something astronomical. We got it negotiated down to $70,000. Still a lot of money, but very different from almost $300,000. Okay. In that instance, just like how y'all's is set up, her employer paid that price for her. Right? So it was free to her. It helps the city save a lot of money, right? We can get cash pay rates, but it helps you as well. Okay, so it removes that barrier of care. I don't know if y'all are like me. I've had my thyroid removed twice. I was 19 when I first started dealing with it. I didn't know what the cost was going to be. The second time it happened, the first time I had it taken out, I was a newlywed. The second time I had just had a child, right? So money, 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 money. Right? You don't know what those costs are going to be. So what do? If you don't know what the cost is going to be for something that you need to go have done, some sort of procedure, you just schedule it anyway and go and hope for the best? Or do you typically put it off and avoid it? You put it off and you avoid it, and then you end up like me. I have no thyroid at all anymore. So that is the whole purpose. That is why the city is doing this for you. right? Let that barrier to your healthcare be gone, okay? So if you come to Frontier and it's somebody that we have an agreement with, right? And they're going to let you know that up front. We have a concierge team. So let's say you come in and you need sinuplasty, right? Like you have bad allergies or whatever, sinuses, and you're going to do that surgery. We have somebody in our group, so to speak, that we have an agreement with. Our concierge team is going to reach out to you. They're going to let you know we can get you in with this provider on this day at this time. You're going to decide if that works for you, right? Or you might say, oh, let's just say in this scenario, you're like, okay, great. So you go and you do the surgery. They will give you a form. It doesn't look like this, but it has sections. And it tells you, hey, I'm going to be cash pay, right? I'm not going to show my insurance card. Or in another scenario I'll give you in a minute, it'll tell you where to use your insurance card. But this form will walk you through what you need to do when you go to have that procedure. And then our concierge team will follow up with you afterwards as well. Okay, so they'll be with you every step of the way. That'll be another phone number that you have. If you have any questions, if you run into any hiccups, you can reach out to them directly to kind of help get walked through that. Let's say the person that we were sending you to, you're like, I don't want to go to them. I want this doctor. This is who I know, and this is who I want. If we don't have an agreement with them, we'll say, great, that's absolutely fine. So now on the last section of the form, right, it'll tell you, hey, you're going to go through your insurance, right? You still have that available to you. So if it's not somebody we can get an agreement with, as long as they're covered under United Healthcare, right? As long as they're under United Healthcare and they're part of your plan, then we can send you that way as well. Okay. And so just the way that we direct you will be different, because on that one, we'll say, hey, when you get there, show them your insurance card and walk through these steps, right? Our concierge team will still help walk you through it. It's just the way that the payment will go down is different. Okay. Any questions on that? I know that's a very different way to engage. I told y'all last time, let Frontier be the front door to your health. And what I mean by that is when you come in, we can help you walk through like, hey, you should go through insurance for this, right? Or we can get you this cash pay rate that the city's going to help cover for you, right? So we can kind of help you navigate cost-wise, right, what that will be. Now, any questions on that? The other thing I wanted to make sure that y'all knew is on our website, if you scroll down to the bottom, there is a little button, and I cannot remember what it says. I apologize. But basically, it's like any feedback you want to give. Hey, your provider did great today. You went through this thing and it was awesome. Hey, I waited for 10 minutes and you told me I wouldn't wait, right? Or you sent me through this thing and I did not like the way that provider, like I had to wait in their clinic for, now we cannot, if we send you to a specialist and you wait an hour, we don't really have any control over that. However, when we do get that feedback from our members, we do share that. And that's part of what we're looking for when we get different partners, right? We want to make sure that they have the same thought to healthcare that we do. Okay. So, but that is available to you, right? You have a voice with Frontier. You can go click on that button. Let us know the good, the bad, the ugly, because we will do something about it. Okay. So I just want you to know that you have that availability. Obviously, you can go to Ashley and Maggie and Veto and all them, right? That's absolutely your prerogative as well, but you have a button on your own that you can submit anything that you need to submit on your own as well. Okay. Any questions? Most of you are still awake. I know I didn't have a fun activity. Sorry. Okay. So 2 numbers I would save in your phone. One is your provider's number. If you don't have it, get on the website, act like you're going to schedule an appointment so that you can find it and save that in your phone. The other number is down here at the bottom, the 9272 number. That's our member services. They can help you with anything as well. Okay. The website's on here. You can make your own appointment. You could call member services to make your appointment. You could reach out to your provider to make an appointment. Okay. No questions? Everybody wants to be done? Okay. Well, I'll be here a while. So if that changes, I can help you out.
Real quick, one more, and then it's break time. Bear with me. All right. Go. Yes.
Oh, God. So 15 minutes from here. Hello, can everybody hear me? All right, awesome. So good morning, my name is Jose Rivera. I'm one of the social workers for the Nueva Luz Foundation. We've been around for over 10 years. Our services we've been around the whole, the valley. We've been around, we actually have programs going on, but as of right now, we have pretty much a program going on with you guys. Does anybody know who Dr. Villanueva, Norma Villanueva is? I believe she did some training for trauma and PTSD. So what we're going to be talking about is who we are, our mission statement. Nueva Luz is our main focus is trauma and PTSD. We've served individuals, we serve groups. With groups at this moment, we've worked with veterans. We've been doing group work with veterans out of Harlingen. So Nueva Luz Foundation is a nonprofit organization specializing in trauma and post-traumatic stress disorder. We assist individual, families, first responders, veterans, healthcare professionals, amongst others. We've done pretty much trainings up in Dallas. We are located out of West Laco. I know sometimes it can be a little bit difficult for travel. So the information that we're going to be providing doesn't mean you have to go to West Laco, right? We can also assist you with doing Zoom sessions. The only hard part about it is the time and date. So we are very flexible when it comes to that. We pretty much, we care about the clients. So we are very modify our schedule to the needs of the client. Our services are free. There's no charge there. We don't take insurance, nothing like that, right? It's been free for the past 10 years and it's going to continue to be serving the community in that way. The only thing that we want to make sure is that because our organization focuses on trauma and PTSD, we want to make sure that the client falls under that mission statement. And I'm going to give you an example. Per se, like you come in, right, and you do have bipolar or something's going on, maybe over drinking a little bit too much, right? So yes, these can be some symptoms that can affect the individual, but we want to make sure that you fall under mission statement, right? If there's any trauma that's happened prior, right, to, it can be a childhood events, right? We go back to ACEs, adverse childhood, right? Anything that happened around that time, if something's going on, it can go back so many years, right? And then the way individuals cope is, right, it can be by ignoring it, right? Ignoring the problem, ignoring the root cause and what happens after that, right? Maybe doing behaviors that start adjusting us to the needs that don't help us. So just to let you know, you have to fall and you under our mission statement. So the services, individual supported counseling. So we do supportive counseling. We do case management. Again, it goes back to the assessment. We go in there, you give us a call, you do an appointment, we do an assessment. Just to let you know, this is something that's confidentiality. We don't talk to anybody, your supervisors, anybody, right? Especially if you're a first responder. This is just with us, right? And we don't force anybody to stay there longer than what they need to. It's however you feel that, how much ever you need it. So that self-empowerment makes a huge difference, right? We don't force anybody. We want you to be there. We want to help you out. Group supportive counseling for veterans. So like I mentioned earlier, we do veterans groups. We have done in the past first responders, spouses. We do spouses. Lately in one of the groups, we do like arts and crafts with spouses. We've done in the past. We worked with children, families. So remember that it's not just for the individual, but we also help the family, right? We also help the children. We want to be there for them. We want to help. We know that especially being a family, being a unity makes a huge difference, right? You don't want to feel like you're alone. You don't have that supportive service. The creative arts, music for therapeutic purposes. So I believe in the future, we're going to end up doing something with the city of Pharr. I don't want to spill the beans and say more than what I need to, right? But there's going to be something going on with that, right? Supporting the family, the spouses, supporting the children. So together we can understand, cope, and prevail, right? So the Nueva Luz Foundation takes great pride of educating the community about trauma and PTSD. And our approach ensures that our clients are equipped with the necessary knowledge and tools to navigate through their struggles and emerge stronger than before. So one of the things about what we do is we pride ourselves with psychoeducation, right? You need to be able to understand what goes on in your body, right, before you actually take action. So being able to understand what's going on, the process, right, the barrier that you're having, right, understanding what goes on in your body makes a huge difference to be able to be adaptable to it, right? And we're all adaptable, right? We sometimes sit down and say, no, I can't do this, can't do that, right? But we are very adaptable, right? So we take pride in the education and then teaching individuals about trauma and PTSD, the effects of what it has, what happens to the individual, and then not just that, what happens with trauma if it affects you and how you transfer it to pretty much the people you love in that house, right? Because it plays a huge effect, not just in you, but the ones that we love, right? So community serving our community, we've delighted to announce that we have established partnership with numerous community agencies. We are honored to have worked with esteemed organizations in South Texas. So like I mentioned earlier, we work at La Grulla. We've done turkeys. We partnered up with HEB. We've given away turkeys to small little communities. I know we rarely post these things, and it's our fault, right? But we've been out there doing these things for the community, right? Serving out there. We've given turkeys to it's kind of amazing to hear this, is that there's a World War II veteran in La Grulla, right, that's a native here in the Valley, which is kind of amazing. Also, we've partnered up with a pretty much MI Academy. It's a school that's a nonprofit that deals with adults with disabilities, right? So I'm gonna say, individuals, adults with Down syndrome, right? Kids who have aged out of high school. So we've partnered up with them and provided services for them. And it's kind of, we take pride in that because, just to be welcomed again. This would be our second year there, right? It's awesome to work with these individuals. So here's some pictures, right? La Grulla, we got La Grulla up there with the chief from La Grulla giving out the turkeys over here. That is the MI Academy that we've been working. So these are the adults, right, who have aged out of school that we're working with. We implemented a program with the Edinburgh Housing for an 8-day, it's about an 8-day program, and it's awesome. Pretty much this is the kind of program that we will be implementing with children, pretty much a resiliency program / leadership to help them, right, grow with those skills that, that are necessary out there in the community, right? And sometimes not just that, help them grow as an individual, being able to communicate. What happens now since COVID, what happened with the kids, right? Shutting down, right? Just want to stay at home, want to play video games. So the whole goal of this is to take them out there, show them those skills again, reintroduce them to that community, make them build those leadership skills, right? And then just again, we worked with the vet center. So we're there to also same thing. We gave out turkeys to the vet center, some veterans that needed that turkey during Thanksgiving. So we're out there. We pride ourselves with going out there. We do the best that we can. So this right here, this is going to be the little card that we're going to be giving out. It's going to have a QR code with our information. Once you scan that QR code, what it's going to do, it's going to take you to pretty much a registration link. It's going to have all the information needed, the basic information that's needed for us. This is if you want an appointment, right? We will give you a call within the 24 hours. If it takes longer, please forgive us. Like I said, we're a very small group, and just the 4 of us, It becomes a little bit hard when we're doing that, when we're out there in the community, but we'll do our best. Our priority is a client. So we'll have somebody do if it's pretty much a presentation, something, we'll switch, right? We'll do the best that we can for that client. Any questions? So again, we're gonna pass this out. Let us know if you have any questions in regards to the program. Any questions that you may have out there, or any concerns? Maybe I didn't say anything right. Sometimes I can sound like a broken disc. Any questions? No. So again, we're out there. These services are free for you guys, right? Free, free of charge. The only time if you do want a diagnosis, and rarely occasions do we pretty much diagnose an individual with PTSD, right? That you'll go through the process of that. And again, we're there to help you out. The last thing we want is, for you not to we want to be an option for you guys. We're not trying to take away anybody's, position or job or anything like that. We want to be an option. Remember, these services are free for you guys. If you refer somebody out there in the community, refer them out, right? The best thing you can do is helping them out, right? If you have a friend, anybody, right? But we're here for you guys. We're here for the city of Pharr. Any other questions or any questions that you may have? Oh, it's with Harlingen. So MI Academy, just to let you know, it's their own nonprofit, but we've been assisting them with our pretty much the help implementing a program, with them. Yes, sir. So we will, if there's a point where the individual does need the further, right, that's further specialization with other needs, we will refer them out. And we will go through first with you guys, we will go through the city of Pharr, right, and then partner up like that so that we can help each other out. Did that answer your question, sir? Yeah. Okay, all right, awesome. Any other questions? Any other questions that you may have? No. All right, awesome. Well, you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and break right now. So if you guys want to come back at 10 a.m., I'll pop up the QR code. If you didn't check in, please make sure that you do so. There's snacks and waters and coffee. Yes. So